Well, I am standing in the shade now, and that is a glorious thing because I spent a lot of time in the sun, and it's been really hot this year. I had to look it up, and actually the average high temperature for this month was 3 degrees hotter than the same month last year. You know, it felt like 12 degrees hotter, but 3 degrees does make an impact on me and, unfortunately, the plants. These are 2 trees that lost all of their leaves because of the heat. The heat was stressing the leaves. You know, it causes more transpiration through the leaves, loss of water through the leaves, but it also dries out the soil quickly. And so we've got these leafless trees. They both are Bombay, which they're probably fairly big for their pots, and they have no leaves. But the good news is they are alive. This, you can see green here, and if you look closely, there's buds coming out on the top of the little branch. And the same is true over here. So these plants are not dead, but they do need to re-leaf. And it is, it'll take a little bit of time for them to make new leaves. And what I'm going to do to try to avoid this happening again to the trees is that I am watering twice a day instead of once a day. Now that's one strategy. If this is happening to any of your trees, you know, that's one thing you could do, is water more frequently. Another thing is you could move your tree into a bigger pot. That way there's more soil to hold the moisture. And another strategy would be, if you have the opportunity or the place to put it in the ground. We have not noticed any stress like this on our in-ground trees. Basically, when you plant a tree in the ground, and of course you want it to establish, make its nice root system, it's able to pretty much sustain itself through any conditions. The main time that we get leaf loss on our trees in the grove is when we have a huge wind, but we don't notice leaf drop on them when it's just hot and dry. So of course we're hoping for more rain, but the things you can do, of course, is, you know, water your plants more, put them in the ground if that works for you, and you could also put them in a place that gets partial shade. That helps a lot. This area gets full sun for most of the day, and it is brutal this time of year. So don't worry if your plants lose all their leaves. Even when you don't have fairly young growth like this, what you can do to check to see if your tree is still alive is you just use your fingernail or something, you know, like sharp or, you know, metal or whatever, and you can see that it's green underneath that thin outer bark. So, you know, even if you didn't see green up here and all you saw was brown, you can scratch it and know that it is alive. It just needs to recover. So it's a little distressing to have all of the leaves turning brown, but this tree is not dead. It will make new leaves wherever these, the old leaves come out. There's, you know, they're buds, and so they'll be sending out new growth. And the good news is, for usually when they send out new growth this time of year, they only send out as much as they can support in the conditions that they are living in. And so these are basically the winter leaves. They were adjusted to a whole different type of climate, and when the summer leaves come out, we probably will not have more leaf drops and you know, dead leaves like this. Remember, if you have a tree that looks like this, it's really not bad news, but it is a signal that it's hot, in case you hadn't noticed, and it's hot for the plants too, and you just need to try to adjust the environment or the conditions for your plant to make it get new leaves and look wonderful.